Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Miami Film Festival for an exclusive Q&A for the film MASHA, which is competing for the Jordan Wrestler First Feature Award. My name is Carlos Tejera. I'm a programmer with the festival, and today I am joined with the director, Anastasiya Palchikova. And thank you so
Woo!
much for joining us. Welcome to the festival.
Hi everyone.
Anastasia, the movie is one of the most entertaining submissions that I think we received. It is packed with all these sort of Shakespearean themes of betrayal, of family, of just big macro themes in this very specific story that you chose to tell through a little girl's eyes. And I want to know from the beginning, like, where did the project come from? And what was the initial inspiration that triggered the process?
Well, I think that the project starts in my childhood because this film is based on my story, on the
Oh,
story
wow.
of my childhood. Yeah, and grew up and in such circumstances. So I'm not afraid of spoilers. Yeah, I can say that. So I grew up among the gangsters, and I tried to depict in Masha that when you grow up and in such kind of family, you don't understand that it's something horrible, because when you're a child, you can't read underlines, and you only can see these wonderful guys who love you, who indulge you, and you love them back, you're seeing them, and everything is okay. You're the only girl, so you're the queen. But then the murder by murder, accident by accident, you realize what's going on, and it's
Yeah.
terrifying you. Yeah.
That is such like a specific and incredible environment to grow up on. And
Yeah,
I
but
think
now I
and I
can make a film on it.
absolutely no, like
It's a bonus.
I think that's how you know you're an artist, right? When something bad happens and you're like, oh, I can really channel this and make art about it, right?
Exactly. Just like the main hero of the film, Masha herself. She
Exactly.
sings.
In the film, yeah. And I wanted to ask about that because it is this process where the film is framed, it opens on a performance, and you think it's going to be one thing, and then immediately jumps to something else. And and again, what's incredible about it is the perspective of the child, right? Because you're just going through and you feel her innocence while all these just violence surrounding. And in the filmmaking aspect of it, I wanted to ask you about how did you start building the world? Was it with a production designer, with the cinematographer, and how did that process went about?
Um, I think that I start to build it in the script already,
Hmm.
because I knew it'll be a story through the girl's eyes, and it's very special view. You remember the things, and when you remember them, they're not just the same they've been, in reality. And it's a little bit touch of her interpretance. Can I say it in English?
Interpretation, yeah.
Interpretation. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's her
yeah.
interpretation of everything what's going on. And of course, after that, we built the world with the cinematographer. We tried to make all her childhood in this pink and yellow color, to make it warm, to make it bright, and of course, many songs. Yeah.
Beautiful. And for the casting, because I want to ask, she's such a wonderful performer,
Yeah.
right? She leads you through that whole, the first two-thirds of the film at the beginning. And I wanted to know how you found the actress who plays her as a young woman growing up, and then as the adult later on, how you found the two performers and kind of merge them.
Yeah. Well, I would like to say some, beautiful, brilliant story, but it was so boring. It was just work. We looked through hundreds and hundreds girls, made a lot of tests, and among all of them, so we found Polina, who is the lead of Masha movie, who plays the lead part, and she was the best. And after that, after we found the little girl, the teenage girl, we found a grown-up one. And the grown-up girl is a kind of star in Russia. She's very famous actress in Russia, and she really sings.
Okay.
I mean, she's a jazz singer.
Oh yeah, no, I mean from the beginning you can just feel the power, right? Like of the
Yeah,
voice and of the
exactly.
performance. So I think that's why the opening is so effective too, to like absorb you, right? And as soon as you start seeing what's going on and you start figuring out, you go, oh, like
Yeah.
it's just so interesting of a world. I also wonder because you say a lot of this was inspired from your childhood. So
Yep.
to what extent do you take what you saw growing up and then make it into a structured story? So like how much would you say you take from other inspiration and bring it in so it fits into a 3-act movie, or and how much do you just go, no, I just want to tell my own my own things that I experience, you know?
At the beginning, I've just told everything I experienced, only the things that I witnessed as a child.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of the script, I mean.
Yeah.
And then I made a structure, and I can't say that, I brought too much things into it. I've just structured all the things that I remembered. It was like I just touched it as a script writer, and that's all.
Okay. And so the dynamic between all the actors is incredible. You know, you
Yeah.
do feel like they're a family. You do feel like they've known each other for a while. So for that process, was it a lot of rehearsal, or was it just casting the right people and then they got there and at like when you start shooting, they start getting that? Or was it like a longer process of interacting?
I think it was both. I mean,
Okay.
first, of course, I've the cast, and we casted the right people, and I really thought a lot about to make a family of them, not only, good actors, but many actors who can be a family. And after that, I can't say that we rehearsed a lot. I mean, rehearsed the scenes of the film, but we talked a lot. We gathered a lot. We talked a lot. So I wanted them to feel as a family, to know each other better, to make these jokes, all these, small gestures that you can feel only between two very close people.
And yeah, that's a great point because there's a lot of just chemistry between everyone, right? Like
Yeah.
there's these little moments that you just feel like even if the camera just goes by them and you see them for a second, like they're not just standing around, they're doing things that are very nuanced. So it's very interesting how the dynamic between the actors ends up working. The other thing I think the movie really shines in is the editing. I think it has beautiful pacing. Like it's just you never get bored. You never like, and the camera's always where it needs to be. I think it's always, from the well, usually at the beginning, especially from the perspective of your main actor, but then it really knows how to show you things to start questioning what's next or what just happened and things like that. So I wanted to know about that process. How specific were you when you're shooting as opposed to picking shots in the editing room, or very pre-planned while you're shooting?
To be frank, it's my debut film. It's my first one, like very first one. So the editing was the hardest part of the film, because on one side, at the end, I have just the film. I have the film that I had in my head,
Right.
but on another hand, it transferred so much during editing, so much, because I tried to find this way, this narrative, this way to tell things. And I think that at the beginning, the things were a little bit slower, and I told a little bit slower, and I made pauses and all this stuff. And I really realized that it didn't work. It didn't work. I
You need
can't
to
see the
move
film.
faster. Okay.
Yeah. And then I started, to cut the things, like to go to the next scene immediately. And then I felt the rhythm. And so, yeah, I think that I redone everything.
But that is such a great discovery, right? When you're editing, it's this thing where a lot of things that you had in your head, you realize,
Changed,
wait, there's a way,
changed
there's a better
completely.
way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, no, and I genuinely, I was very taken like by surprise of how precise, like it just feels concise, like you're not wasting any moment with the editing, right? Because what you were describing right now, sometimes you want to let things breathe, and sometimes that's right with certain films, but here, like you said, if you realize like that's not working, that's just
exactly.
everything, you're not wasting time, and the film moves at a beautiful, just boom, 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 right? And just
Yeah,
want to,
thank you, which writes so much.
yeah,
It
no,
was
no,
the
no,
hard part. Yeah.
and it doesn't go unnoticed. Great work on that. Um, and I wanted to ask too, and I go back to the script because it's such a interesting story. Um, so if this is from your own experience growing up, I wonder how long it took you to actually develop the script.
The story was in my head, I think, for several years.
Right.
Then I wrote some kind of a synopsis.
Mm-hmm.
And, the script itself took a year and a half, something like this.
Okay.
Yeah, but before that, or maybe a year even, but before that, I had this story in my head, and it was, rolling and rolling, rolling and rolling inside of me. Yeah, so
Yeah. No, and that's
actually, it
such a
took
good
my whole
feeling,
life
no?
to write this script. Yeah, you know.
But that's when when it's something doesn't leave your head and you gotta get it out there.
Yeah,
And that's the beauty of it, right? Because if it doesn't leave your head, there's something good on them, and
yeah, that's
clearly,
something true. Yeah.
yeah. I also want to, well, I want to ask you, because if this is your first film, I can't even imagine what you're doing next, because this is a great film. So what's next for you on your plate? Do you have other projects you're working on? What is going on with your next
Yeah, I
steps?
do. I'm writing a script right now. I'm in the middle of it. So it'll be it'll be a story about a
Mhm.
father and a son. I'm afraid I can't say more, but
Okay.
I'm in it. I'm on
But
my way.
that's exciting. There you go. Like, because clearly, like, we want to see more. We want to see
Oh
more.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Um,
I'm ready to show.
yeah. And well, before we leave too, I wanted to ask a final question, because I know a lot of people watching these Q&As, a lot of them are, trying to learn about the filmmaking process and all that. So I wanted to ask, so people know at home, how do you go from having your script to getting a team together, production, and slowly get the finances for this together to actually start shooting and get something on the can?
Well, I was rather famous scriptwriter in Russia.
Okay.
So the things were much more easier for me because many production companies and producers just knew me.
Okay.
And when I finished the script, and many of them told that I need to shoot myself to be a director. So they were ready for that also.
Oh, that's
So when
good.
I finished the script, um, I showed the script to producers, and they told me, okay, yeah, let's do that. Finally, you bring it.
And I'm
So
telling you,
I think
that
it
script
was the
is so
easiest
good.
way. Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
easiest way, to get money for the film. Everyone was waiting for that.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, Anastasia, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure having this conversation with you.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
for
you.
sharing the film. It's absolutely thrilling, entertaining, and just shocking in terms of everything that happens in the story.
Oh
So
yeah,
I can't
thank you.
wait
I'm
to
so
hear
excited
all
to
the
be in
reactions.
Miami Festival. Yeah,
No, yeah,
thanks.
absolutely. Like we're very excited to have your film. We're very gracious that you came to talk to us. So please, keep in touch with all of us, and
Yeah,
we
sure.
can't wait to see what's next. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
okay.